Hey, hi, hello. This is a...
Yeah, sorry.
I'll start that over. Hey, hi, hello. This is Scott Farrow with another segment of Blue Shoe Recruiting. Blue Shoe, not brown, at gmail.com. So today's segment is how to interview candidates. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. Blue Shoe Recruiting. Blue Shoe was founded by me. I've got 20 years of recruiting experience. And again, this is Scott Farrow. So what I found over my 20-year career is that clients and candidates alone are looking for something specific. Don't try and sell them something they're not looking for. Hence the name Blue Shoe Recruiting. If someone's looking for a brown shoe, sell them a brown shoe. If they're looking for a blue shoe, make sure you bring them a blue one. Today's segment, how to interview candidates. So the candidate population is getting more and more sparse. Hiring managers, congratulations if you have locked on to a candidate and you're ready to interview that individual. So the goal of your interview should be to have some dialogue. Dialogue usually begins with open-ended questions. Questions that begin with who, what, where, when, why, and how. Closed-ended questions are just that, closed-ended, and usually answer with a question, an answer of yes or no. So target your questions toward those open-ended questions. Behavioral-based interviewing is really all the rage right now. Behavioral-based interviewing is just that, to pull out some past successes, to predict some future wins, and really truly get at the core of someone and what they really feel about an organization. This is more of a situational-based interview. A situational-based interview question is typically one that asks them about some things that they've done in the past. Tell me about a time when, ... What would you do with this, ... So those are questions that typically pull out, again, the candidate's behavior, and we've talked about this many times, and you can find reams and reams of information on behavioral-based interviews on Google. So please, feel free to Google that. Character-based interview questions also should be a critical component of your interview with this candidate. This gets at the core of some of their beliefs, their integrity, their honesty. A simple question, something about, hey, were you ever asked by management to tell a white lie? Tell me a little bit about that. That's a great character-based question. And again, you can find reams of character-based questions on Google. I'm not going to spend time selecting for you the ideal question because each situation is different. Last is a fact-finding question. All right, really, truly, this is a great way for you to segue from company to company, why they made certain changes, what some of their roles were at certain organizations, and get at the core of what their day-to-day responsibilities are. Again, that's a fact-finding question. Through all of your questions, you should take the 80-20 approach. You should be listening 80% of the time and talking just 20% of the time. If you feel like you're selling that candidate, you're talking too much. You want to pull from them information. Again, dialogue, initiating questions will do just that. You'll get the candidate talking, they'll talk about themselves, you'll get to learn a little bit more about their personality and see if they're a good fit for your culture and your organization. Your questions and their answers should pretty much take a STAR approach. Situation, task, activity, and result. They should tell you what the situation was. They should clearly define what that situation was. They should tell you what the task was, who was involved in that task, the action that they took to really make that adjustment or achievement, and what the end result was. You may also hear that these people have totally flubbed up an opportunity to shine. That's okay. They should certainly own that and own their mistakes, and that is a great indicator of one's humility. And again, please focus on the halo effect. The halo effect is something that you may go in and absolutely love a candidate on paper. You had a great telephone conversation with them and you think that they are the person for the job. You go into that face-to-face interview and you've got this starry-eyed approach. That halo effect is one thing that really ruins a lot of good hires. This is still your turn to weed this individual out, and this is the time when you are still vetting one another. That halo effect is a powerful thing. Do not negate it. So really focus on being consistent with some consistent questions, some consistency with regard to how you interview candidates. Don't take a slighted approach because someone referred this person to you. Stay consistent. There's also a compliance piece of that too. If you're not consistent and you hire someone or don't hire someone, that could come back in a judicious situation to really come back and bite you in the butt. All right, so that's all I have. So let's wrap up. Again, how to interview from a hiring manager's perspective. The candidates are super sparse out there, so you make sure that you make full use of each and every opportunity that you have with this candidate. The behavioral-based questions are fantastic. Tell me about a time when. The character-based questions are what would you do if. Fact-finding is truly why did you make a position change from one company to the next. And again, focus on that 80-20 rule. 80% of the time the candidate should be talking, and 20% of the time you should be talking. And that situation, task, action, and result, that STAR approach should be really truly how your candidates structure their answers. From me to you, congratulations. If you need any additional assistance, I'm just a phone call away or an email away. This is Scott Farrow of Blue Shoe Recruiting. Again, blueshoe, not brown, @gmail.com. Until next week, have a great one.